Okay, Marcus, why does commissioning actually exist? What the hell is it all about?
Oh, that's a question that everybody asks because it's almost like it's like voodoo, right? It's just like, oh, how many times you go in somewhere and you talk to someone like, I heard you said commissioning this and that. I don't know what it is, right? So years ago when I first started getting in this business, I'll never forget. I actually went to an AE presentation and they were talking about commissioning, and I'm like the guy going, wait a minute, wait a minute. So you're paying someone to make sure that they make sure someone else does their job? And they were like, kinda, and then you start to realize it's a process, it's this, it's that. But at this exact same time, I talk to owners just what you said all the time. And I'm like, honestly, truthfully, if this was 30 years ago or something like that, I shouldn't be here. I go, but with the invention of BIM and every other way to change the project in 20 different thousand ways from Sunday, I go, we ran into a problem. It's not vellum anymore. It's not basically loaded with basically you're going to have the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, everything stacked up, fire. There's now you have class detection, you have this, there are so many things that if you want to add a door, it's got to go here. The 18,000 things change, addendum 17, 2,000 RFIs, ASD, CCIs. My God, there's so many acronyms now to basically say, pay me more money. So it's crazy. And I just talk to people all the time about it's a quality assurance process to enhance the delivery of a project, blah, 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 the definitions, of what it means. But in truth, being an owner's advocate, being his owner's rep, basically being that disinterested third party coming in and representing the owner's best interest. Just what I tell my students all the time, commissioning is part of a project if I wasn't there. Because guess who is the commissioning agent if there's not a commissioning provider? You, the CM, basically the engineers, the architect. You're supposed to take on the role of QA/QC. You're supposed to take on the role of following the process, of communicating, of documenting, of verifying. Like, where did that go? Where did all the accountability and the responsibility go? Like, something happened. Was it COVID? Was it pre-COVID? Was it the camera? We all have cameras all in our body now? Was it always there? Or is it now just coming to the surface? And I'm going to throw it back at you because I don't know what's going on in the world, but I just feel like I'm getting older by the minute, and it's almost like old school.
So
going away.
what you've just described is there's been, in the last, say, 30 years, there's been a degradation of quality, output, delivery, and then you layer into that all these different new technologies that are adding. They're supposed to be making things faster and simple, but they're actually adding complexity. Yep. And what you get here is just a hot mess of like nothing. So I'll answer the question. I'll do a bit of Seinfeld. I'll do some question talking. Why does commissioning exist? I'll tell you why it exists. Because the building design and construction delivery model does not deliver buildings that work properly. That's the only reason it exists. There's no commissioning for cars because you turn them on, they work properly. Industry is vertically integrated. Your laptop, there's no commissioning for engineers for laptops, right? Comes out of the box, it works. So you would send a car back that had defects. You don't send your building back. You should just move in and live with it, right? So why does it exist? Because frankly, the design and construction delivery method produces buildings that don't work, period. Now, their defense to that would be, it's because there's a lot more complexity, there's a lot more integration of technology, true, but they're being paid to design and deliver that integration, and they don't. So that's why we exist, right? It is a form of compliance and validation. So design sets the intention, the construction team build it, and then the commissioning authority, verification engineer in the UK would come in and verify that those systems and that building performs per the design, right?
You just said would come in. You see how basically it just got pushed to the end again?
Yeah.
But we became a flip switcher again. I'm not a flip switcher, but people think, oh, you come in at the end and you make sure the lights go on. I go, yeah. No.
So let's speak to that, right? So you can interpret that we coming at the end. So you parachute in the end. You're like the school teacher checking the exam, right? Yeah. Or you are involved throughout the job and you have the ability to intervene and comment and check as you go along, which reduces the risk of a job being bad at the end. The earlier you intervene, the earlier you are there, the earlier you check things, the more you manage quality into that job, the better you are, right?
And the best part is like the triangle, owner, CM, architect, engineers, guess where we are? In the middle. We don't have a hierarchy. I don't have to go through, this person, this person, this person to get to this one. Everybody can call each other whenever we want. That's why I always say we're bridging the gaps. We're the champions. We're here. I call myself a PAM all the time, a performance assurance manager. I joke around and say I'm a PAM, I'm not a Karen.
You're not a Karen, you're a PAM.
Yeah, exactly. I just said it the other day, but I stole that from NREL, just to let you know. My buddy Shanty Press, he's the PAM. He's awesome, a performance assurance manager, but they're champions. A project can be successful if you have champions and you have team and you're all in that race car and you're all going to cross that finish line together, together as a team. None of this blame game. As soon as it's the controls, it's the contractor, it's supply chain, it was COVID, it's China. It's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. And you're not a team player. And truthfully, teams are the most important part of anything we do in this industry. And I wake up every day with I had a dream to be on a good team, right? I know I'm a poet, didn't know it just there.
MLJ, I have a dream that all buildings will one day be delivered.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, just the team. You know what I mean? Like I just got off a 20-hour day yesterday with an amazing team, and we put together reports together. And we didn't think we were going to get it done at 6 o'clock in the morning, but we did at 12 a.m. in the morning. I've only got 3 hours of sleep going on this, but I got coffee, thank God. But it's just the thing is the team. And that's what we're missing. Like, you always talk about military and the SEAL team and the Rangers. Can you talk a little bit about that, that feeling? And then, what was that word you said about incentivized?
So the other reason we exist, let's think about that, right? So there's other ways to answer that question. So the other reason commissioning exists is everyone's in a silo and contractual arrangements incentivize minimum compliance at best and corner cutting normally, right? So there is a role of like someone coming in and bridging those silos and seeing the integration issues and seeing how things come together, because the commissioning authority and the owner have one thing in common that the others don't. They are interested in the whole thing working completely correctly at the end, right? They're interested in the baby and the labor pains, right? Whereas if you're working in a contractual environment, you're interested in the labor pains. Like I'm an electrician.
As a teenager, adolescent.
Is electrical shit, right? That's it.
Your reputation is on every day when people like, why are you so passionate about them? Like, I treat every building like it's my own. I treat every electrical gear, every circuit, every chiller, every little T-stat, every little VAV. I'm like, that's my baby, right? And I mean, I've been joked around. They call me Neo from the Matrix because I'm like, what are you thinking about? You have to think about, what would water do? What would electricity do? What would MSTP do? What would the master slave do? TCP IP. Think about it. And most of the time, you get into a building and people are like, well, I'm not paid to think, I'm paid to do. And you're like, you got people.
When you're in it, when you're actually in it, right? That you're out on site, you're trying to verify a VAV box, for example, right? The fundamental question is, does everybody there want this to work properly or not, right? Because everybody standing around that laptop has agreed to get that thing working properly, right? So we're already contractually obliged to do it. Do we want to do it, right? But there was a great saying, I think it was Jeff Bezos said this, high quality, high performance is infectious, right? Yeah. If you are around a load of low quality people, you will lower yourself to that level. If you're around a load of high quality people, you will raise yourself to that level, right? You want to play great golf, you got to play golf with people who are better than you. So one of the jobs of the commission authority is to engender that high performance attitude, that high performance team. We've all agreed to do this, so we can phone it in or we can really, really do it well, right?
But so to that point as well, not everything will work perfect. It just won't. We know that things break. We know that it worked yesterday. It doesn't work today. Fine. An issue or deficiency is nothing more than that. And we list it, we log it, and everyone's like, oh no, it's bad issue. You're like, what? Log it, fix it. I would rather basically, I'm just telling the world right now, do not lie to the commissioning guy. You know what I mean? Tell us the truth. I will find it out. We will open up things, right? And especially if you're someone like me, I will not sleep at night trying to figure out what it is. I'll come back the next day with an entire research and 40 different, Google websites. And they're like, did you not sleep? I'm like, I'm just weird like that. And so are you, Adam. You know what I mean? But it's just like, those are the people that you want to be around. You want to be around your A team. And we care about that VAV box. I mean, how many times, last time I'm going to say here, how many times you had a VAV box that just did not hit the set point? The valves were this, everything says right. And you're like, I don't know what's wrong. And then the next day, you see someone walking a dog and you're like, it's on a leash. You're like, oh, the lever arm. You're like, and it comes to you and you're like, and you fix it. You're like, yeah. It's like, that to me is a nugget. Like, we call them golden little nuggets. And they're not mean nuggets. They're not issue nuggets. And you're not trying to find problems just because there's problems. You're trying to help with the solution.
So to close this off, I'll just add this. This might lead into the next question. Right? A good commission authority manager, verification engineer, whatever we're calling them this week. The weak ones, the bad ones, will get to that VAV situation as a problem. And I go, well, I found that problem. I am the thing that you own that, and it's your problem, and F you, and look at me, and oh, my mum loves me, right? And the real great commission authorities, commission managers, they enroll people, they identify the problem, they don't assign blame, they go, like, we have this problem, how do we get past it? How do we fix it? There's a brain trust sitting around here.
Yeah.
How do we get by? This is a no blame situation. We can solve this and move on. Let's do it. That is a leader. That's someone who can enroll people. That's someone who can move a job forward. Those are the people you need to hire. And that's a real commission manager.
But you got to have, like you just said, leaders. I mean, you got to have leaders, not just one leader, because the entire commissioning team, and that should be another topic.
Yeah.
Team. Again, if you're willing to work on something together, you're getting it done. But if everybody's going, change order, I got to be paid for that. I have to be paid for that. You're like, this is never going to work.
No. So just to wrap up then, why does commissioning exist? In my opinion, because the industry right now can't produce a building that works. That's it. One sentence, done.
Too many. There's too much. It's just there's 10,000, 100,000 little teeny pieces. It's too much.
Yep.